Let me just tune into our space self. But okay. I'm seeing space. I don't know. New word, space Linda, and space shaman, or space self, Earth self, space self.
Yep.
So because I see it as we look in our human form, that's how I'm seeing it, and I know that. Yeah, long story. So space self. What does space self think about what we're doing? What our Earth cells are doing? He says,
What?
but she says both. You can finally relax, and she also says it's time to get to work. That's Linda Space Self saying that. What does Shama Space Self say about the session we're having now and the work Earth Shama is doing and the group, the whole meeting thing? Linda, what do you think, Space Shama? This is get on board. As a get aboard, she goes all aboard. All aboard. So would that mean would Space Shama and Earth Shama meet each other? It's contemplating. He says, well, it depends. But is Space Shama and Earth Shama the same person? Space Shama go, yeah, I would reckon that. What is a non-coherent answer? But okay. But so you would reckon that it's the same. Would Earthland and Spaceland, could they meet each other? Like shake hands? Oh, I just turned around I have my back to myself now, just walking away. Somebody's not answering. Oh la la.
I guess it's supposed to be a surprise, perhaps.
Surprise. It's like Easter egg surprise. Um, okay, I got a facial expression from then out. They're both like, okay, so that would be really trippy, wouldn't it?
Very.
Like, because the whole thing, like meeting ET counterpart, that makes sense. My future timeline has that makes sense, right? Because it's different incarnations. What would happen if our space cells met our Earth cells? Ooh, I saw you, Earth Shama and Space Shama. If we were to spaceship landing, Space Shama walking out. Let's say you hug, it's like there's a bright light, like you melt together
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
because you are the same soul.
Yeah. And you become one. It's integrating, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is. It's like psychological integrate, but
Yeah. Yeah. And why is your Linda, Space Linda, turning her back? Is it about surprise or is it
what would happen? We would both go up in flares. What do you mean by that? Okay, something like the same thing, like one consciousness.
yeah, yeah.
But like, would our bodies melt together? She said, not like that. It would just be like extremely intense. Like, how close can we physically get to each other? About 10 meters. Okay.
Without
Yeah, well, I think
exploding.
it's exploding. Good to know.
Just maybe like stay back. That's back
I
up.
got water. I'm gonna, or maybe on myself so I don't burst into flames. So there's a very consciousness connection between our space self and our earth self. And in Shama, you can always, well, space Link is also, Earthling is also saying this to space Link, but Shama and space Shama, you can always communicate with each other. And when you see yourself on the spaceship, you can go there in non-local consciousness as Earth Shaman. Also physical, but there is a part of you that's already there, a space shaman.
Wow. Because Space Shama and Space Linda are always there on board the ship. Yeah. James explained that a bit to me. I had never heard that before. I just thought we'd go, astrally, that's when we were doing the work, but there's actually another version of us that's there all the time.
Yeah, I've seen that, both seeing from non-local consciousness, just sort of hanging in consciousness. I've seen her, Space Linda, but I've also, through her eyes, walking around